Yo, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy Kamen Zero Spike back again once again today, people. Today we're here for Bakuage Sentai BoonBooger episode 6. Now this episode was great. I love this freaking episode, man. This episode made me love Boon Black even more, man. This is why this guy is my favorite character, because he's me. He's me. Not 100%, but he's like a good 80% me. And in this episode, we see that Sashiru and Mira are basically telling him, because Sashiru doesn't trust him. Sashiru just, he thinks he's like this guy who's just hiding like his real, like, true intentions, and he sees him as like this guy who's upstanding. He likes his job. He's very serious about his job, and he's like really good with the people. He's very nice and all that, and Sashiru's not buying it. So Sashiru's trying to figure out what's going on with your boy. Meanwhile, we see our three idiots, our basic Team Rocket, have basically they're dealing with their own like little struggles and whatnot, and we see that a meteor is heading towards Earth, a comet, shooting star basically heading towards Earth, and we see that Taya is with ISA girl. I'll get her name eventually, but he's with her, and he delivers to her like basically a hard drive that's supposed to basically give them like the heads up whenever an alien or something like that is heading towards Earth. And then they look at this and they say, oh man, something is headed here. So we see our three idiots that are standing there. They see this comet, and this comet lands down, and turns out it is another member of the Hashirasen family, you know, basically crime boss mob family, and his name is Mad Rex. And this guy, I like him. I like Mad Rex. I like him. I like his personality. I like his design. I like his weapon. I didn't think like he's not too big and ugly. He's not too bulky and stuff like that. He's a perfect like balance between that, and I really like his power set. I mean, his power set, he uses a drill, which is like one of my most favorite weapons of all time. So, but yeah, we see that he comes there. He's basically trying to get those three in check, because they've been getting their butts kicked by the tire people, by the tire humans, the tire people, and he ends up creating a toilet monster. Out of all things, I didn't think a toilet would be like this freaking dangerous, but he ends up creating this toilet monster, and it basically has this power. We'll get to that later. So we end up going back to Sashiru and Mira, who are tailing Oxus, and Oxus is, I'm to call him Joe. Yeah, they're basically tailing Joe, and Joe is like walking around the town, and he's doing nice things. People are walking up to him, you know, everybody's nice to him and things like that. He sees these two buff guys, they're working out. They talk to him about like, hey man, the workout regimens and stuff you gave us worked and stuff like that. See how much we bulked up. And like, people are giving him free food. Like, he's really like just a nice popular guy, and he ends up finding some money on the street, and he doesn't keep it for himself. He actually goes back to the police station and turns that money in. And even on his boss is like, even on your day off, you doing your job, I'll take it, I'll do that. So, but Sashiru's still not buying it. Like, he's still not convinced that, you know, Joe is this upstanding guy that he shows that he is. So we see that Taya goes and finds he goes off to go find what the anomaly was, like what landed here, and he ends up getting into a fight with Mad Rex. After Mad Rex has already shown off he gets on a fight with Mad Rex, and then that's when, you know, Mad Rex has created the toilet monster, and he sends the toilet monster and the other three off to just basically just get a bunch of gas line energy. He's fighting Mad Rex right now. He fights Mad Rex for basically the entire episode. Like, him and Mad Rex are really, they're going at it, yo. They're going at it. So we see that the toilet monster, he busts in on the scene, and he ends up his power is like he shoots toilet water. He shoots toilet water on people, and it makes them speak the truth. It makes them basically speak the truth about what they're holding inside, and he's able to gather gas line energy from the people. And we see that the toilet monster ends up spraying toilet water on a bunch of people, you know, on a bunch of people that Joe was talking to. And we see that Mira, Sashiru, and Joe have to basically take on the toilet monster, and they try to call Taya. When they try to call Taya, he's like, I can't come, you guys are gonna have to handle it, I got my hands full. And they don't know that he was fighting Mad Rex or anything like that. So we get back to him while fighting Mad Rex, and Mad Rex is kind of getting the upper hand on Taya. So we see our other three, they hinching up and start taking on the toilet monster, and we see that while they're fighting the toilet monster, we see that Mira is about to get hit with the toilet water, but then Joe jumps in the way, pushes her out of the way, and he ends up getting hit. When he does get hit, it does affect him, but it affects him in a positive way, to where it just makes him stronger, and he basically goes like the ISA, I forgot what it is, the IPS, the ISP, I forgot what it is, but he basically says that, and he says that the BoonBooger and the police and stuff, he said, I will protect all the people, I'm going to be that. And he ends up getting stronger, and he ends up fighting, and while he's getting ready to go fight the toilet monster, we see that Sashiru is like, man, I misjudged you, bro, I'm so sorry, can you forgive me? Like, you really are a nice guy, you really are a good guy. And Sashiru's whole character basically changes in this episode. His whole character, his whole persona basically changes, and he just becomes like this. He just becomes like best friends with Joe. And now that him and Joe are like best freaking friends, they start going in on the toilet monster. They're beating him up. They're doing combo attacks and stuff with each other. Like, they're really handling this guy. So they get ready to finish him off. And then all three of them end up using their ultimate attacks and end up taking him out. That's when Yadu Yadu comes in and, eats up his explosion, and we get our Rainbow Road fight. But it's actually pretty different this time. They ended up trapping Yadu Yadu and making him fall off off the Rainbow Road, and we get our mech fight. And when we get into our mech fight, we transform into our brand new police form that we got last episode, and they ended up defeating him while Sashiru is still all cranked up and riled up and whatever, right? Just super energized and just completely out of his character, right? So they end up defeating him. While they end up defeating him, we see that Taya is still fighting Mad Rex. While he's fighting Mad Rex, we see that he's having a hard time, but then Mad Rex gets serious and he charges up his ultimate attack to hit Taya with. So he fires it at Taya, and that's when we see Genba, who has been watching the fight the whole time. He ends up rolling over a manhole cover over there to Taya, and then Taya uses that manhole cover as a shield to deflect Mad Rex's attack back at him, and then Mad Rex himself deflects the attack and ends up causing a massive explosion. Then that's when Mad Rex is like, oh, you pretty cool, man, you're pretty dope, what's your name? And he's like, I call myself Boon Red. And he's like, all right, I'll see you. I'm gonna see you next time. Make sure you can catch up, man. I'm laps ahead of you. Make sure you catch up on the next go around. So we see that the dog, he has like a dog head on his side that actually starts to bark, and he's like, oh, I guess it's time for your walk. And I'm like, what? Aren't you always walking him? Aren't you always walking him when you're he's attached to you? What are you talking about? So he ends up leaving. And he sees that Genba's like, looks like you needed some help, and he thanks Genba. They end up going back to base, and they end up telling Taya about everything that happened with Sashiru, and he's like massively embarrassed, right? And now that he's massively embarrassed, we see that Boon Black Joe, who has has a really big respect for the other three, and he starts calling them Mr. and Mrs. and stuff like that, saying, basically giving mad respect to them, like they're his mentors and seniors and stuff like that. And the episode ends off with Boon Boon giving Taya some curry, and our episode basically is up right there. In the next episode, we're gonna get our debut of Boon Orange, and we see that Genba finally is gonna get within his suit and start helping the team out, and they're gonna be fighting this big wall monster. I can't wait to see that. But other than that, this episode was dope, man. I did like this. I did love this episode. I did love our introduction to a new enemy, to a very powerful enemy. We see that this guy is clearly above our other three. Clearly he's a whole commander, and we also haven't seen the other two Hashirara-san, we haven't seen them actually fight like at all. They've just been around, you know, being a nuisance. So I can't wait to see them actually get serious and them actually start doing some real like fighting when it comes fighting the actual BoonBoogers, right? Instead of just being creepy and making monsters. But other than that, this episode was dope, man. It was a lot of fighting. I loved seeing Taya in his like a 1v1 fight by himself, handling himself, because he really wasn't getting his butt kicked like that. He really wasn't, and that's what I really liked about it. He wasn't getting his butt kicked. He didn't get hit to the point where he turned back to his civilian state. No, he held his own and he never failed, and I love that. I really love that about Taya. Even though we had other Reds do that before, he proved that he really is a true leader and a true Red Ranger now that, you know, him being to stand up on his own and stuff like that. And also it proves that the team, you know, the other three, they can hold their own too. They did a whole fight without him. They did a whole mech fight without him and won both those fights. So it proves that the team can be split up and still be able to handle themselves, you know, without Taya having to be there. Same thing with Taya. He really can handle himself without the whole team being there. I know he most likely couldn't beat, like full on beat Mad Rex by himself, but he was able to handle himself. Even though he had a little bit of help from Genba, he still was handling himself pretty well before that. But yeah, guys, you guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about this episode of Bakuage Sentai BoonBooger. I'm gonna see you guys next time. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. As remember, as I always say, guys, stay henshined.